Welcome back. We're on page 88 in Guitar Landscapes, and today we're going to be talking about playing over the standard 12-bar blues chord progression, which is just basically C7, F7, and G7, but there's a specific order to those chords. Now, I'm going to improvise over those first, and I'm going to be using two different scales, the minor pentatonic scale and the blues scale, both in the key of C. So let's check that out. Well, we can play the C minor pentatonic scale or the C blues scale over the C7, the F7, and the G7 chords in your standard 12-bar blues chord progression. Here's the C7 chord, the F7 chord, and the G7 chord. And now here's that scale, the C minor pentatonic scale with the added flatted fifth interval. So it's going to have a dissonant sound against this chord because we're playing an E flat note, the flatted third, against a chord that has a major third in it. That's actually what makes it sound bluesy. And of course, if we add that flatted fifth interval, that guy, then we get even more dissonance between those two notes. So a blues player can really milk these two notes to make it sound sad. A lot of times what the blues players will do is on that C7 chord they'll actually bend that flatted third into the major third. So you, once again, you can kind of tease the listener with that sound. I'm doing it down here, same interval of flatted third, bending it up to the major third. And you can do it on top too. So they're very useful against that C7 chord. Now all of those intervals change when it goes to the F7 chord. I'm still playing the C minor pentatonic scale against those chords, but we get a different effect now because now that F note is the root of the F7 chord. The fourth interval is now the root of the F7 chord, and that E flat note, the flatted third in the scale, now becomes the flatted seventh of the F7 chord. Now, I know all of this sounds very complicated, and you don't need to be thinking about all of this so much when you're playing, but I do want you to become aware of it. It can be quite helpful for you when you play to be able to tease those notes against the different chords. But in the beginning, just use your ear. Let your ear be your guide. If something sounds good, use it. If it sounds bad, don't. But realize that as the chords change, the tension of those notes change as well. So the same thing is going to be true for the G7 chord. And I'll let you look in the book and analyze those for yourself. But just keep in mind, don't make it too hard on yourself here in the beginning while you're trying to learn it. Just play the scale and listen. Your ear will tell you when something sounds good or bad. If it sounds bad, go to the next note and see if that one sounds better. I know that seems like a very simplistic approach, but it's one of the best ways to learn to improvise. It helps if you're aware of the chord changes as they go by. And we're going to do those chord changes in just a couple of pages. So hang in there. Well, let's take a look at the C blues chord progression. Here's your C7 chord, and then we're going to go to F7, back to C7, G7, F7, C7, and then a G7. So here it is played in context. I'll just play it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, C, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, G7, F7, C7, back to G7. Count those bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you do that right, you'll come out with 12 bars. If you don't, you'll come up short, and that can really throw some people off. And just remember, as you practice these, you can play the C minor pentatonic over it, and you can also play the C blues over it, and both of those scales will work just fine. Well, now we're going to play the minor 12-bar blues. This chord progression is a little jazzier than some of the other things we've done because we're going to use minor sevenths and major sevenths, and we're going to use the sus chord. So we're going to go through all of that right now. Here's the B minor 7 chord. You see it there in the book. And then here's E minor 7. And then back to B minor 7. The next chord is a G major 7 played up at the 10th fret. And then you can keep that little finger down when you slide your hand down, and you'll go to the F sharp 7 sus 4. And then go to F sharp 7. And then back to B minor 7. This chord progression is popularized in a song called The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King. So you might want to check that out. Here's the chord progression just played in context. Now the same thing is true with this chord progression. You really make sure when you first learn it that you're counting the bars as they go by. Very important to learn to count while you first start playing and learning a chord progression so that you don't play too many or too few bars and throw the rest of the band off. So anyway, I hope these chord progressions have helped you a lot. Once again, this one is in the key of B minor. So you have B minor pentatonic, you have B blues, and then also the B natural minor will work against this one as well. So it's a great sound, and once again you can just play a regular old blues thing against it. You can also treat it a little jazzier as well by sort of playing off of the chord tones as the chords move by. Well, what we have playing in the background is the B minor blues chord progression. It's just a 12-bar blues, but it's based loosely around The Thrill Is Gone, the classic B.B. King song. So now I'm going to play the scales that fit it. This is B minor pentatonic. And then B blues. B natural minor. And I'm just going to improvise with those, and I'm once again going to freely shift between the different scales. I'll start with minor pentatonic though. Now the blues. It's a natural minor. Well, I hope you found some useful stuff in this chapter. I think that this chapter is full of some of the best information you're going to find just in terms of what you're going to be able to use against most rock songs and most blues songs. We really covered a good 70 to 80% of what you're going to see in most standard rock and blues music. And so as you're learning this material, once again, try to ingrain it in your fingers with muscle memory, and also get the chords down so you can see the chords laying on top of those scales. When I see a B minor chord, I see the B minor pentatonic and the B blues scale right along with it. And that'll help you visualize and be able to use these and quickly and easily change them to different keys. So have fun, enjoy this material. Remember, you can check out more of the free stuff at Guitar-Gps.com. You can also pick up the book there, Guitar Landscapes. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.